Hello kind ones, and I hope you're having a lovely week so far. Wow. Last night I'm sitting watching the FA Player app and how it works with women's football is that Sky and the BBC have bought the rights to the women's games, and I think it was about 22 games would have been shown on Sky and the BBC over the last season. And the way they work it out is order of importance and what teams are further up the table, etc. So last night on Sky, you were able to watch Arsenal away at Everton. Arsenal could not lose that game, and they didn't. They won 3-0. But what would have been a more interesting game to have on Sky was that of Aston Villa hosting Manchester United. Now, I don't think this was picked to be on Sky because it was expected that Manchester United would run amok. Manchester United are sitting in third place at the moment, that Champions League spot in the WSL, and Aston Villa knocked them right off their feet last night. We'll get into the possession in a minute because I say they knocked them off their feet. They didn't, they really tested them. They pushed them to their limits and they held them off to a goalless draw, meaning United only took the point and literally gifting Manchester City that third place spot. Because between now and the end of the season, Manchester United still have Chelsea to play, who are of course top of the table and not looking like they have any more upsets left in them. So yeah, the last game of the season will be Chelsea at Manchester United. So that is going to be tough for Manchester United to see them all the way through to maintain that third place spot. Manchester City, however, are on a run like no other. Considering the start of the season for City was so bad. They're on a 10-game unbeaten run at the moment, another 4-0 win over Leicester yesterday. If I'm going to put the house on it, I'm going to say Manchester City will take that third place spot. Anywho, let's talk about that game last night at the Bank Stadium, where Aston Villa, who are just starting to come into their own. Now, you remember not too long ago I did a piece on Aston Villa, just basically saying that they're flopping every time because they've got such a strong squad now. You know, they've had decent money to spend in the summer. They brought in Emily Gielnik, Australian international as a striker. I think she's had 2 goals this season. It's been quite disappointing. You've got some experienced players in there as well. Anita Asante, who's a WSL legend. You've got Jill Scott, England international currently, in there as well on loan. You're bringing in Rachel Corsie, who's coming over from the MLS Leeds, Scotland captain as well. You've got Risha Littlejohn in there, sister shout out, who's been performing well over the last few games. Then you've got Alicia Lehman, who we all know and we all absolutely love, Sarah Mailing, and a few stars in there as well. But what we're starting to see from Aston Villa is conviction in their games. It was missing for such a long time because you watch that team coming out and you think, right, player for player, Aston Villa can beat Reading. Player for player, Aston Villa can beat Birmingham, but they've just not been convincing in those wins. Whereas in the last 3 games that they've had in the WSL, we've seen them hold off Chelsea to a goalless draw until a 93rd minute stoppage time Sam Kerr goal. That was a massive moment and a massive game for Aston Villa to say, okay, yeah, we don't compare to the likes of Chelsea, but we're going to defend for our lives here. We're going to dig deep because we don't want to be seen as the club that's in the relegation battle. They've come out of that zone now, and fair play to them. It's now Birmingham set for relegation, Leicester City just above them by a few points. Then you've got Everton, who've had an absolute honky-tonky stinky bum season, and then you've got Aston Villa 3 points clear of Everton. So I must say I'm really impressed with that. Then going into the international break, they won against Spurs, who've had an excellent season, 1-0 against Spurs. A little Petseberger goal. She's doing very well this season for Aston Villa. And then of course yesterday, coming back from the international break, the pressure's on when you're facing a team like Manchester United. And they just saw it through. But what was scary is that they were going into that game without so many key players. When I say so many key players, I mean Jill Scott, who now looks like her season is over, which is such a shame because, you watch Jill Scott coming in and you're like, she could come on at 70 minutes. The game changes like that. The pace, the tempo, everything changes. She just works, she attacks, she runs, she glides, she's got guile and sass. And she's Jill Scott, the England legend. And I think she'll be a massive loss for Aston Villa. And wasn't on yesterday and isn't looking like she's going to be back. for the next few games either, which is such a shame. And then of course there's Hannah Hampton as well, the #1 goalkeeper for Aston Villa, the only keeper we've seen for Aston Villa the whole entire season. Fair play to Hannah Hampton, you know, she's young, she's got huge potential. When she pulls off a save, it's often like a wonder save, you know. She's also got a belter of a strike on her. She used to be a striker when she was really young, and then made her way into goal, so she's been very, very impressive. The other thing to note about Hannah Hampton is that she's now getting her national team call-up. That just shows what a great season she's had, because getting into Serena Wiegmann's Euro squad is absolutely outstanding, and Hannah Hampton's, I believe, one of those players who can find this league, the Women's Super League, in her position. Is it's hard work for her, you know. It's a lot. You know, you've got to respect that. So I think for her getting into the England squad's a huge deal. But now it looks like she's injured, and hopefully will be back for the last couple of games of the season. In the meantime, we saw Shan Rogers step up. Shan Rogers, I haven't seen ever perform in the WSL. Well. Yesterday she comes in there like David Seaman and just makes it look like she's been doing it for quite some time. I think it was a huge moment, a huge game for Shan Rogers in goal. The pressure must have been immense when you're facing the likes of Manchester United, who, when you look at their attack in front, are a realm of no other. You know, you've got Alicia Rosso in there, you've got Ella Toon. They're players who are constantly banging in goals for Manchester United. Katie Zelem as well. And you know, I think Hannah Hampton might have been looking and going, oh God, this is a huge game and I can't be part of it. But Shan Rogers did not disappoint, and I think that's where you've got to take your hat off to players who wait so long to get that opportunity. Being a goalkeeper must be hard, and Hannah will always start ahead of Shan, but what a moment for her to face Manchester United and to save a decent few goals as well. She made a wonderful save at the start of the game, and that kind of set the precedent moving forward, that she was not there to be messed about. 62% the possession Manchester United had over Aston Villa yesterday. 16 shots, only 4 on target. And Aston Villa didn't really get near Mary Earps in goal, but that's just another story for another time. The point is that this team are now digging deep, and the narrative at the start of the season was that Aston Villa were going to be in a relegation battle. Aston Villa's manager is Carla Ward, who was also manager of Birmingham last season, who are currently in the drop zone at the moment. So massive achievement for Aston Villa. Who have they got coming up? None other than the mighty Gunners. They've got Arsenal on Sunday, which will be a huge game for them. Can Aston Villa hold off Arsenal to a goalless draw? My answer is yes. Yes, they can, but I will update you on that as and when it happens.